Hello dear students, in this video I am continuing next part of human reproduction and it is about fertilization. So fertilization and implantation, it is the next bit of the topic human reproduction. In humans, during fertilization or before fertilization, the process required to execute the fertilization is insemination. What is this insemination? The semen is released by the penis into the vagina during copulation, also called coitus or sexual intercourse. So during sexual intercourse, semen is released into the vagina and this process is called insemination. Once the insemination is completed, the motile sperms, which are very active and motile, they swim rapidly, pass through the cervix, they reaches the uterus and finally reach the ampullary region of fallopian tube. The first step is insemination, during which semen is released into the vagina. Motile sperms which swim rapidly, they pass through the cervix, they reach the uterus and finally they reach the ampullary region. What is this ampullary region? It is wider part of fallopian tube. The fallopian tube is accessory duct of female reproductive system and this fallopian tube is also called oviduct. It consists of infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus and infundibulum is having the finger-like projections called fimbriae. The ampullary region of the fallopian tube is wider region. The sperms which are deposited into the female reproductive tract during the sexual intercourse, they move through the different parts like cervix and uterus. Finally, they reach the ampullary region. At the same time, the ovum or egg released by ovary through the ovulation is also transported to ampullary region where the fertilization takes place. So what is the site of fertilization in humans? It is ampullary region. The sperm and egg, if they come in contact with each other in the ampullary region of fallopian tube, the fertilization is executed. The ampullary region of the fallopian tube is site of fertilization in case of human beings. Here, one thing is required to execute the fertilization. Fertilization can only occur if the egg and sperm are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region, because once the sperms are discharged or released into the female reproductive tract, the fertility capacity of the sperm is only for 48 hours. And once the egg is released from the ovary after ovulation, the fertility capacity is only for 24 hours. Within this period, the sperm and egg, they must come in contact with each other at the ampullary region. Then only it can result in the fertilization. That is why all the copulations do not lead to the fertilization and pregnancy. So once this is asked in the examination, why every fertilization and the every fertilization and copulation, sorry, every copulation does not lead to fertilization and pregnancy, because once the sperm is transported, simultaneously egg should also reach the ampullary region. If both of them reaches the ampullary region within time, it will result in the execution of fertilization and leads to the pregnancy. Then the process of fusion of sperm with an ovum or egg is called fertilization. And during fertilization, the sperm comes in contact with the egg, and egg is surrounded by egg membrane called zona pellucida, and it induces the changes in the membrane that blocks the entry of additional sperm. So let me explain about this sentence. If one fastly moving sperm, millions of the sperms are discharged, one among them which is highly motile, first it comes in contact with the egg, and egg is covered by two membranes, corona radiata and zona pellucida. Later in the next slide you will come to know about that. Corona radiata and zona pellucida. Once one sperm enters into the egg, the zona pellucida, it blocks the entry of additional sperms. So only one sperm is allowed to enter into the egg to execute the fertilization. This is called monospermy. Entry of single sperm into the egg is called monospermy, and polyspermy is prevented by changes in the membrane structure of zona pellucida. And this ensures the same thing, only one sperm can fertilize the ovum. The secretions of acrosome help the sperm enter into the cytoplasm through the zona pellucida and plasma membrane. When sperm comes in contact with the egg, acrosome of the sperm releases some enzymes, and those enzymes break the egg membrane so that the sperm can enter into the cytoplasm of female gamete egg. Here it is very important. I hope you remember, at the time of ovulation, the egg is released at secondary oocyte stage. The secondary oocyte, what is it? It is a haploid structure. Just it has completed first meiotic division, yet it has not completed second meiotic division. Then question is, when does that second meiosis is completed? Once the sperm enters into the egg, or when the sperm is trying to enter into the egg, at that time the second meiotic division is carried out by secondary oocyte. At the time of sperm entry into the egg, the second meiotic division is completed by the secondary oocyte. And remember, the second meiosis is also unequal and result in the formation of one second polar body and a haploid structure called ovum or ootid. And here the ootid is the functional egg. Spermatids are not the functional sperms, but the ootid which is produced, it is the functional egg. Its nucleus fuses with the nucleus of sperm and gives rise to the formation of diploid zygote. Once again, I would like to revise the things. Before fertilization, the insemination is required in human beings, and during insemination, the semen is released into the vagina. Motile sperms, they pass through the cervix, reach the uterus, and finally reaches the ampullary region of fallopian tube. At the same time, egg should also reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube where the fertilization takes place. Once the sperm come in contact with the egg, the acrosome secretes some enzymes, and those enzymes help in the breaking of egg membranes, corona radiata and zona pellucida. Once the one sperm enters into the egg, the entry of other sperms is prevented by modified zona pellucida. When the sperm tries to enter into the egg, or when it enters into the egg, at that time the secondary oocyte undergoes second meiotic division, and second meiotic division is unequal, result in the formation of a smaller second polar body and one larger haploid ovum or oocyte. Finally, nucleus of the sperm and nucleus of the egg fuses with each other and gives rise to the formation of zygote. Remember, all these phenomenon or the processes, they are occurring at the ampullary region. The zygote formation also occurs at the ampullary region because sperm and egg, they have fused with each other at the ampullary region, so that the zygote formation is also occurring at the ampullary region. Then moving to the next one, this I will go for later, and I will explain the things with the help of this one. Yes, let us go for the explanation here. So during insemination, what happens? The semen is released into the vagina. What is semen? It is a mixture of seminal plasma with the sperms. What is seminal plasma? It is the mixture or the content of three accessory glands of male reproductive system. What are those? Seminal vesicles, Copper's gland and bulbourethral, Copper's gland and prostate gland. Seminal vesicles, prostate gland and Copper's glands or bulbourethral glands. The secretion of these glands represents seminal plasma. When sperms combine with that seminal plasma, it forms the semen, and semen is released into the vagina at the time of insemination. Then what happens? After insemination, motile sperms, they pass through the cervix, then they enter into uterus, and finally they reach the ampullary region. At the same time, the egg released by ovary also reaches ampullary region. That means the sperm and egg, now they are present at the ampullary region, they undergo fertilization. Therefore, site of fertilization in humans is ampullary region. So here let me explain about this diagram. This is the diagrammatic representation of female gamete egg. It is surrounded by the three protective layers. Outer one is corona radiata. Next to that is zona pellucida. Below the zona pellucida, plasma membrane is present. In between plasma membrane and zona pellucida, there is a small space called perivitelline space, and the zona pellucida structure changes once the sperm enters into the egg. Here you can see the haploid nucleus of the female gamete egg. So some sperms, they are trying to reach the egg. Already this sperm has reached the egg. Acrosome of the sperm releases some enzymes so that it can break the corona radiata, it can break the zona pellucida. Finally, the sperm enters into the cytoplasm of egg through zona pellucida and plasma membrane. When the sperm enters into the egg, the secondary oocyte, which is just completed, which has completed the meiosis 1, now it will complete the second meiotic division. Once the sperm enters into the egg, At the time of fertilization, the secondary oocyte completes second meiotic division, and second meiotic division is unequal. It produces one smaller polar body and one larger oocyte. That oocyte itself is functional ovum. I hope it is clear. One more very important term you need to remember: Zona pellucida and Corona radiata. These are specifically called egg membranes because they are present around the female gamete egg. Therefore, they are called egg membranes. What are the egg membranes, or name the egg membranes? Corona radiata and zona pellucida. Between the plasma membrane of egg and zona pellucida, there is a small space called perivitelline space. Why the name is perivitelline? In frog egg, instead of zona pellucida, vitelline membrane is present at the second position, that means the second layer, so that with comparison to vitelline membrane of a frog egg, here the space between plasma membrane and zona pellucida is called perivitelline space. So moving to the next one. Yes, this is important. Human female is represented by the karyotype. What is karyotype? Type of the chromosomes in her body. The karyotype is 44A plus XX. This is plus. Don't consider this as X. 44A plus XX, and male is represented by 44A plus XY. That means female in humans, she is producing only one type of the eggs throughout her life. That means till the end of menstrual cycle or till reaching the menopause condition, she is producing all the eggs carrying only X chromosome. That means human female is homogametic. She is producing only one type of the egg. All the eggs are carrying only X chromosome. Then what about the male? So male is having one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. Therefore, male produces two types of the sperms. Male produces two types of the sperms. Half of the sperms carry X chromosome and half of the sperms carry Y chromosome. Then what happens? At the time of fertilization, if egg is fertilized by the sperm carrying X chromosome, what is the type of chromosome in egg? It is X chromosome. What type of the chromosome is carried by the sperm? It is also X. Then it becomes XX. This result in the development of female child. If the egg is fertilized by the sperm carrying the X chromosome, the resultant combination of the chromosomes becomes XX, and it leads to the development of a female child. This is one option. If egg is fertilized by the sperm carrying Y chromosome, then after fertilization, the combination of the chromosomes is X and Y, and this gives rise to the formation of a male. Therefore, here egg is not important because egg carry only the X chromosome. The sperm which is fertilizing the egg, here I have written sperm, sorry, this should be male. The sperm carrying X chromosome, if it fertilizes the egg, resultant sex of the individual becomes female. If the egg carrying X chromosome is fertilized by the sperm carrying Y chromosome, the resultant karyotype becomes X and Y, and it leads to the development of a male child. Therefore, in humans, sex of the fetus, the sex is decided at the time of fertilization itself. Once the fertilization is completed, there will be no further chance of change in the sex of the growing fetus. The sex of the fetus is decided at the time of fertilization itself, and it is decided by the sperm, not decided by the egg, because all the eggs are carrying only X chromosome. The sperm which is carrying X chromosome, if it fertilizes the egg, it becomes XX and resultant individual is female. If the sperm carrying Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, the resultant individual becomes male with XY combination of chromosomes. Therefore, in humans, mother or female is not responsible for the sex of baby. Always the mother is blamed in the society for giving birth to the female child, but scientifically she is not responsible for the sex of the baby. Father or the male is responsible for sex of the baby, as the male is producing two different types of the sperms. Which sperm is fertilizing the egg? If the sperm carrying the X chromosome fertilizes the egg, resultant individual is female. If the sperm carrying Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, resultant individual will be male. Therefore, the mother is not responsible for sex of the baby. Then moving to the next one. So once the fertilization is completed, whether the egg is fertilized by the sperm with the X chromosome or the egg is fertilized by the sperm with Y chromosome, that doesn't matter. Once the fertilization is completed, where it has occurred in the ampullary region of fallopian tube, result in the formation of diploid zygote. This zygote undergoes repeated mitosis, and the process is called cleavage. Because zygote is unicellular structure, it is converting into multicellular structure without changing the number of chromosomes, so that it is dividing through the mitosis. Cleavage is represented by repeated mitotic divisions, and first mitosis, the unicellular zygote is converted into two-celled structure, then gets transformed into four-celled, like that 8-celled, then 16-celled, and the cells of this embryo, or the cells which are produced as a result of cleavage of the zygote, are called blastomeres. Remember, what are the blastomeres? These are the cells produced from zygote during cleavage. During cleavage, the cells which are produced from the zygote through the mitosis are called blastomeres. Here, one important term, the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is called morula. When the zygote becomes 8 to 16 celled structure or 8 to 16 blastomeres, it is called morula. Again, morula undergoes repeated mitotic division and gives rise to the formation of the very important structure in the human reproduction. It is blastocyst, and this blastocyst, it moves into uterus. Up to this, the division of the zygote, the development of morula, all these are taking place in the fallopian tube, from ampulla to the isthmus. And finally, Once the blastocyst is produced from morula, it moves into the uterus. Then question is, why the blastocyst moves into uterus? Because it has to execute one more important process for the confirmation of pregnancy, for the maintenance of pregnancy, and it is nothing but the implantation. The implantation process is carried out by blastocyst so that it moves into the uterus. Before moving to the implantation, let us know what is this blastocyst. Blastocyst is a ball-like structure produced from morula. It is covered by trophoblast. Covering of the blastocyst is called trophoblast. It contains inner cell mass and a cavity called blastocele. The cavity present in the blastocyst is called blastocele. The covering of the blastocyst is called trophoblast and it contains inner cell mass. Then what is the function? Trophoblast, finally it participates in implantation, and from the inner cell mass, the inner cell mass develops into proper embryo. The embryo is finally developing from inner cell mass and implantation is carried out by the trophoblast. So this trophoblast is ball-like structure developing from morula. The blastocyst, finally, when it reaches the uterus, this blastocyst gets embedded in the endometrium of uterus. So this process is called implantation. The blastocyst gets embedded in the endometrium of uterus. The process is called implantation. This is how the fertilization occurs, gives rise to the formation of zygote. That zygote divides by mitosis in the process called cleavage, gives rise to the formation of morula, and morula develops blastocyst. Blastocyst gets attaches to the endometrium of uterus. This is called implantation. Remember, if the implantation is failed, then there will be no confirmation or continuation of the pregnancy. For the continuation of the pregnancy, implantation is very important step. Even though the fertilization has taken place, but implantation is failed, then there will be no continuation of pregnancy in case of human beings. And remember, the sex of the fetus is decided at the time of fertilization itself, and it is decided by the male, not by the female. So here one diagram I would like to explain. This is the female gamete, egg, one sperm. All the sperms are trying to come in contact with the egg, but one fastly moving sperm has entered into the egg, executed the fertilization. It has transformed into 2-celled, 4-celled, 8 to 16-celled structure is called morula. Here you can see the egg is released from ovary. It has reached the ampulla. This part represents ampulla. When both egg and sperm are in the ampullary region, the fertilization is executed. The zygote starts cleavage, gets transformed into 2-celled, 4-celled, 8-celled, and finally it has converted into blastocyst. So here is the image or diagram of blastocyst, and this blastocyst, this is the endometrium of uterus. To this endometrium, blastocyst is attaching. The process is called implantation. Insemination, then egg and sperm simultaneously reach the ampullary region, result in the fertilization. Only one sperm enters into the egg Remaining sperm entry is prevented by zona pellucida. When sperm enters into the egg, the secondary oocyte completes second meiotic division. It is also unequal, gives rise to the formation of larger ooted and smaller polar body. The sperm nucleus fuses with the egg nucleus, gives rise to the formation of zygote. That zygote undergoes repeated mitotic divisions called cleavage, gives rise to the formation of 2, 4, 8, 16 celled structure. When 8 to 16 celled structure is formed, it is called morula, and morula gets transformed into blastocyst. The covering of the blastocyst is called trophoblast. It contains the cavity called blastocele. It also contains inner cell mass which develops into embryo, and trophoblast helps in implantation. Implantation is very important step in human reproduction. The blastocyst gets embedded in the endometrium of uterus. It is called implantation. So these are the things that I wanted to explain with respect to fertilization and implantation. I hope it is clear for you. Thank you.